All right, let's just jump right in. Picture this, a world with no light. No sun, no stars, not even a sky to look up at. A world that just died, smothered in a toxic silence, leaving behind a scorched surface that's basically a giant tombstone for our past. This is the world of Niburu. For decades, what's left of humanity has been hiding out deep underground, crawling into the bones of the old world. They live in this maze of tunnels, a life where time is measured by the hum of failing machinery. And this isn't just a bunker, it's all they have. This is home. So you gotta wonder, for a generation that's only ever known this fear, this confinement, what happens when a sound from the dead world above, a sound that's impossible, finally cuts through that silence? Well, that's where things get interesting. But before we get to that whisper, we really need to understand the world it's about to completely wreck. So let's head down into Station Gamma 7. Let's see what life is like when just surviving is all you've got. So think of the old Cairo Metro, but it's not for trains anymore. Now it's like the veins of a whole new civilization. They call it the Sunless City. It's just this huge maze of stations, and every single platform is its own little town, just this tiny pocket of life hanging on by a thread. And this is what daily life feels like. It's a total sensory assault. We're not just talking about survival here, it's this constant crushing pressure. The recycled air, it tastes like metal. The food, some kind of gray, tasteless paste. And the sound, there's this non-stop hum from machines that are always on the verge of breaking down. That's the soundtrack to their lives. It's just living on the edge of everything falling apart. In a place like this, you are what you do. That's it. And that's where our guy, Adam, comes in. He's a scavenger. He's one of the brave, or maybe crazy, few who go out into those dangerous outer tunnels, risking it all for a spare part. Anything to keep the lights on back home. His job is his entire identity, just like everyone else. But see, Adam's not just out there looking for scrap metal. He's looking for something more. Answers. And then one day, he goes deeper than he's ever gone before, and he finds something. Something that doesn't just mess with his own head, it threatens the entire power structure of his whole society. And this is where the main conflict really kicks off. You've got two opposing ideas. On one hand, there's the official story, right? The stuff they've been told for generations. The surface is dead, poisoned, nothing but a wasteland. But then, there's what Adam finds, a pulse. It's steady, rhythmic. It's not natural, it's gotta be a signal.
So here's the kicker. This signal, it's not just some random mystery. It's basically an act of defiance. One of the elders, a woman named Alara, she tells him the truth. The people in charge, they've built their power on keeping everyone afraid of the surface. So if the surface isn't a death trap, then their whole system, their control, it's all just one big lie. It's truth against power, plain and simple.
So, with this dangerous new idea in his head, Adam knows what he has to do. He can't just sit there. He's got to follow that signal. And that means heading out, not just into the tunnels he knows, but into something completely, terrifyingly unknown. So he sneaks out of the station and heads into what they call the uncharted tunnels. And man, the change is instant. The darkness he's used to back home? That's nothing. This is a deep, heavy blackness. It feels like it's physically pressing down on him. And the silence is deafening. Until he starts to hear things. Not the usual creaks of metal, but wet, clicking sounds, organic sounds. And as he keeps going, something pretty chilling starts to sink in. He's not the first one to do this. The tunnel is, well, it's a graveyard of other attempts. He sees busted helmets, twisted gear, all the signs of people who tried to find the source of the signal and just never made it back. Turns out, looking for the truth down here costs lives. And it doesn't take him long to figure out why nobody came back. These deep tunnels aren't empty at all. They're home to a whole ecosystem of nightmares. Life that's evolved in this toxic darkness. It's kind of a twisted proof that nature will find a way, even in the worst places imaginable. The first thing he runs into is something called the toxic bloom. And these aren't animals, really. They're more like these pulsating, fleshy masses stuck to the walls. They've got all these shimmering eyes that follow him and these long tendrils that just whip out at you. They give off this weirdly sweet smell that's meant to draw you in closer, right into their trap.
But yeah, those blooms, they're just the start. The real top of the food chain down here is the breeder. It's this horrifying insect-like thing with a hard, shiny shell. The truly terrifying part, though, are these pulsing sacs on its back. They're pumping out the spores that mutated this whole place to begin with. This thing is literally a walking factory of poison.
You know, the creatures are bad for sure, but the biggest threat, it's what this place does to your mind. It's a psychological nightmare. The fight isn't just to stay alive, it's a fight to stay sane. The silence starts playing tricks on you, making you hear whispers. And he keeps finding these desperate messages scrawled on the walls from the people who came before him, messages from people who were clearly losing their minds.
He finds one message, just scratched into the rock, that really says it all. It's not just about going deeper into the earth. This journey is a descent into his own mind, a fight against the paranoia that's trying to take over, in a place that feels like it was designed to break you.
So, after somehow making it through all those natural horrors, Adam breaks into a new part of the metro. And this is where the story takes a huge turn. It reminds us that sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones that look just like us. He's walked right into the territory of a group called the Ironclad. And these guys are not like the people from his home. They're not just trying to get by. They are a disciplined, military-style faction. And they've built a brutal little empire down here. Their turf is like a fortress made of scrap and barbed wire, and you can just feel the aggression in the air. And this really shows you the two different paths humanity could take down here. You've got Adam's home, Station Gamma 7, where it's all about community, just trying to survive together with old, failing tech. Then you've got the Ironclad. They're not about surviving, they're about dominating. They've turned old tech into weapons. Their goal isn't just to make it through another day, it's to rule. It's the difference between just hanging on and completely taking over. Their leader is a warlord named Kale, and he lays out their whole philosophy crystal clear. For them, it's not enough to adapt to the darkness. They've mastered it. This is more than just a new enemy for Adam. It's a totally different way of thinking, a dark mirror showing what humanity is capable of when it's all about power. And that really brings us to the central question of this whole story, doesn't it? Adam went looking for a truth that might give his people hope. He fought off alien monsters, he fought for his own sanity, but now he's up against a darkness created by human ambition. And it makes you wonder, when you strip everything else away, when you're surrounded by monsters, is the biggest threat, the scariest one of all, still other people?